After the Hijrah, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ noticed the Jewish community of Medina fasting on the 10th of Muharram. When he asked them why, they told him, "This is a great day. On this day, Allah saved Musa and his people from Pharaoh. So Musa fasted out of gratitude, and so do we." His response was not surprise, it was recognition. We have more right, and we have a closer connection with Musa than you have. He fasted that day himself and commanded the Muslims to do the same, and he later expressed his intention to add the 9th of Muharram alongside it, so that Muslims would mark this day distinctly. What many people overlook is how deeply that shared origin shows up in the practices themselves. Before the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 CE, Passover looked nothing like the home ceremony most people know today. It was a mass pilgrimage. Every adult male was required to travel to the temple in Jerusalem, and families would make the journey with them. Hundreds of thousands of people would converge on Jerusalem from across the ancient world, from Egypt, from Babylon, from Rome. They would sacrifice a lamb and eat together as an act of communal worship. Pilgrimage to a sacred city, animal sacrifice, families gathered in devotion, a community united before God. For any Muslim who has performed Hajj, that should sound familiar. The form is the same: pilgrimage, sacrifice, purification, communal gathering before God, and that is not coincidence, it is ancestry. The Passover pilgrimage traced back to Musa alayhi salam, who descended from Ibrahim alayhi salam through his son Ishaq alayhi salam. Hajj traces back to Ibrahim alayhi salam himself. Two communities, two branches, one patriarch, one God who commanded the same form of worship. Consider what that timeline reveals. The temple was destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE. Over the following centuries, Jewish scholars rebuilt the Passover tradition into a form that could survive without a geographical center, replacing the pilgrimage and sacrifice with a home-based family ceremony. By the time the Prophet ﷺ arrived in Medina in 622 CE, the temple had been gone for 550 years. The Jewish community he encountered had known nothing but the home-based Passover for more than 5 centuries. This form of worship, pilgrimage, sacrifice, communal gathering, traces back further than Musa alayhi salam and the temple. Its roots go all the way back to Ibrahim alayhi salam, whom Allah commanded to call all of humanity to pilgrimage at the house he had just built. That call is the origin of Hajj. The parallels do not stop at pilgrimage. In the Jewish tradition, the most sacred period of the year is a 10-day window beginning with Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, and culminating on the 10th day in Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. In Jewish belief, this is when God opens the book of life. The deeds and destinies of every soul are reviewed, and on Yom Kippur, the book is sealed. Jews observe the day with a 25-hour fast, intensive prayer, and deep seeking of forgiveness. It is considered the holiest day of the Jewish year. Now, consider Laylatul Qadr. The night of decree falls in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, the night the Quran was first revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it in the Quran: the night of decree is better than 1,000 months. And in Surah Ad-Dukhan, on that night, every wise matter is decreed. It is the night when the destinies and provisions of every soul for the coming year are established. Muslims fill those last 10 nights with prayer, with Quran recitation, with seeking forgiveness, hoping to meet that night before the record is sealed. Two traditions, two different calendars, but in both, a sacred window when divine decrees are written and the believer stands before God in humility, seeking His mercy. These parallels do not end with the major sacred events. They run through the everyday fabric of both traditions as well. Muslims greet with Assalamu alaikum in Arabic. Jews greet with Shalom alaikum in Hebrew, both meaning peace be upon you. Both Islam and Judaism sanctify a specific day each week for communal worship and turning away from worldly preoccupation. Jummah on Friday for Muslims, Shabbat from Friday sunset to Saturday night for Jews. Both traditions mandate charitable giving as a religious obligation, zakat in Islam, tzedakah in Judaism. Both follow divinely prescribed dietary laws that prohibit pork, require animals to be slaughtered in a specific manner, and invoke the name of God in the process, halal and kosher, structurally almost identical. Both practice circumcision, tracing the covenant directly back to Ibrahim alayhi salam. And both organize the day itself around fixed times of prayer, Jews traditionally praying 3 set times a day, Muslims 5. And these are only some of them. These are not surface resemblances. They are the imprint of the same divine guidance, passed through the same line of prophets. Islam did not arrive to erase what came before. It came to complete it. The same God who parted the sea for Musa alayhi salam, raised the dead through Isa alayhi salam, and split the moon for Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, is the God who has guided humanity through one unbroken line of revelation. Every prophet came with the same call: submit to the one God who created you. That is the literal meaning of the word Muslim. Those who followed it in the time of Musa alayhi salam were Muslims. Those who continued following it in the time of Isa alayhi salam were Muslims. And those who follow it in its final and complete form, revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, are Muslims. That is what Islam is, not a departure from what came before, but its completion, one unbroken line of guidance, from the first prophet to the last. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open our hearts to the full truth of His guidance and guide those who have not yet followed it to its completion, to Islam, the path of all His prophets. Allahumma taqabbal minna ameen.